Can we taste something?
Yes, we do. 5 different vineyards in Schnait. It's from the vintage 2019.
Okay.
So we have very small shallots from this wine. We have the maximum production of this is 5,000 liters from a hectare. It's all fermented with wild yeast.
Okay.
And 30% is fermented and aged in oak barrels, used oak barrels with 500 and 600 liters. So it's 2,5 stick. And the 70% in stainless steel.
Oh, nice.
So it's from different soils in Schnait. It's from Gipskäuper, Mergel and Stubensandstein.
Oh, that's not what I expected, but beautiful nose. It has a lot of complexity because it's a very. What I like about a Riesling is when it's not so appley and not so orchard fruits, but it has a lot more spiciness and complexity. So
And you have a little bit of reductivity.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but it has a lot of, like now it comes the appliness, a little bit of air, or.
But it's more. I think it's more not the green apple.
No.
More the yellow type.
Yeah, and more like crushed aroma of the skin, and has a little bit of yeastiness, but very spicy. Almost cardamom, muscat, very spicy. Oh, okay, that's your Ort wine, so village wine. Okay.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a beautiful start. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's a typical Riesling, and in terms of acidity structure, because it starts high and keeps getting higher a little bit, but but very organic, and I mean the acidity. So I wouldn't say it's very appley. I would say, but it's really ripe, organic, beautiful, but so it's not so linear.
Yeah.
But very mouthfeel. Mouthfeel, the full mouth is really covered by this. Nice, beautiful.
It's not too high in the alcohol. It's 12.3.
Yeah, nice. Wow, good, because it's not a fruit bomb, but
no, that's not our style.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but that's the second wine I drink.
We don't make Fanta.
No, true. Ah, nice. And what was why did you choose this winemaking? So why do you work with spontaneous fermentation and also with a little bit of barrels? So why did you choose this winemaking style for this reason?
I think it's the wild yeast. It's the organic thing. So we working organic in the vineyards, and the same we would want to do that in the cellar. So that's the thing with the wild yeast fermenting. And with the oak barrels, it's good for aging. Yeah. It's not the aromatics from the oak. It's more the micro-oxidation. And it's good for the wines to age.
Yeah, because it has a little bit of like smoky character, I would say. But it's not so, but in the nose.
Yeah.
And in like the mouthfeel is very, very ripe. So it's not no green notes, no stringency, no bitter notes. And it has a little bit of this barrel character, so a little bit of woodiness. But the more is...
But in a good way.
Yeah, sure. And the nose is very expressive,
I
would say. And already in the nose, you could tell that it's spontaneous fermentation. I think I'm a little bit of a freak for spontaneous fermentation, because I think I can smell it somehow, or a wine is more interesting when it has spontaneous fermentation. And a little bit of least contact, I'm probably on this wine too, right? Because it gives like a second or third layer to the wine, and it's not so made or not pointy, but it's mysterious. So beautiful. Thanks. Good beginning.
Okay. Let's see. So the second wine is the single vineyard Riesling. It's 2019 too, from the Schnait Altenberg. So same village, but a single vineyard Altenberg. It's much higher, the vineyard, on 320 meters, a little bit higher, on Kieselsandstein and Schilfsandstein.
Okay. And what do these soil types give to the wine, do you think? Or how is it working on these soil types?
So it's, on On the lower vineyards, so for the Gipskuipers or Bundemergel, it's I think it's much better for the reds, for Lembergers. They get a little bit more deepness in the wines. This one. And for our Riesling, I think it's the best. It's the Riesling for the Riesling Kieselsandstein, Schilfsandstein, and the Stubensandstein is very interesting too. You becoming from the Stubensandstein a lot of yellow fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of ripeness, because we were already in the vineyards, I already mentioned you that the topsoil is quite thick, right? So the stones don't really have like a direct sun contact, right? So they cannot really reflect the sun because the topsoil is really thick. But so what do the stone really give to the wine or to the winemaking? That's in terms of drainage, maybe it's better. Or
it's drainage. It's much better. It's right,
because we saw some sandstones, maybe in the corners or where the road curves, but in the vineyards there are almost none of them.
Not too much on the top,
Yeah. So in terms of winemaking, what is the difference?
It's the winemaking is not the big difference from these two wines. It's more the vineyard. So the wines are much older. From the Riesling Schnait Ortswein, the wines are from 10 years to 20 years old. Okay. And for the single vineyard, for the Altenberg, the wines are 30 to 33 years old. The Schnait is much smaller, so we have maximum 3,000 liters from a hectare. From this wine, and this is 100% fermented and aged in big old barrels of 600 or 700 liters.
Yeah, because the color was already a bit bit more golden, but the nose is a bit. It's not so loud than the other one, so it has a bit more. I think it needs a little bit more oxygen, right?
Yes, more time. I think it's. This wine is much more interesting in 3 or 4 years, I think. Yeah.
So how was 2019 here?
It was very good. It was a small harvest too, but not so small. We did the 2020. I think for the Riesling, the 2019 was a little bit more interesting. How the 20. Okay. So it was not so ripe. How the 20 for the Rieslings. For us, it was a very good vintage too.
Because it was 18 was also really hot here, or it
was very hot and very dry. So, but it was a big vintage, quality and the quantities.
Well, yeah. I see that the alcohol is the same, but it has more weight, I would say. Yep. And it's more yellow in terms of fruit, so it already has some kind of like almost persimmon, kind of more like exotic kind of character. Oh, nice. And the acidity is a bit ruhig. Yeah, it's not so electric, I would say, or not so vivid than the other one. Oh. But this yeasty kind of element is also in the nose, right? It's a kind of like a bit of like mushed.
But what is mushed?
It's like a fermented grape juice kind of character.
Okay.
Yeah, but you see that these wines are really like not oily because of the acidity, but it's really thick. Or you can see already in the glass that the tearing is.
Yep.
You can see that the harvest was really on point and really selected. So when did you harvest typically Riesling in this?
In this vintage, 2019, the single vineyard we harvested. Give me 2 seconds. I think around 30 September or 2nd October. So yeah.
Okay. And would you say that your top Riesling is, or that's your best Riesling? What would you say?
Yeah, that's our best Riesling. That's true. Yeah, like we produce only one single vineyard Riesling.
And in the future, because you already like kind of hinted that you may have the opportunity in the future to purchase more vineyards, would you also plant more Rieslings in here in the